This is the most read manhwa. You probably remember this manhwa. This, and this one. I know, everyone has read this manhwa before. But have you read this? And this? I know. If you haven't, I've got you covered in today's video. We will have hidden gem manhwas with overpowered main characters that will blow your mind. You know those stories where the MC is an absolute beast, leaving you speechless? Trust me, these manhwas will have you on the edge of your seat, screaming, "That's what I was looking for!" And the first one on our list today is an absolute must-read, The Savior's Bucket List. This story follows our MC, Yongak, who's been sent back in time over and over again to try and save the world from impending doom. But this time around, he's like, "Nah fam, I'm done with this savior business," and decides to just wipe and live his best life. Except, his disciples start showing up one by one, and before he knows it, the world is getting saved anyway. The premise is wild. A savior who doesn't want to save anymore accidentally saving the world? I am hooked. And let me tell you, the execution is top-notch. The world building is immaculate, the art is gorgeous, and the fight scenes will have you on the edge of your seat. Plus, our boy Yongak has this insane leveling system that lets him get ridiculous power-ups. An overpowered MC in a dungeon crawler setting? Yeah, this one's a banger if I've ever seen one. It's only got 22 chapters out so far, but trust me, you're gonna want to hop on this train before it really blows up. Coming in at number 9, we have the gritty and intense Merciless. This manhwa follows Do Jangong, a human weapon and special forces spy working against North Korea. After getting his arms injured on a mission, he finds himself trapped in a hellish Daesan welfare center. With 1 month to heal his arms and escape, Jang-on must survive the harsh conditions while recuperating. What makes this one a hidden gem is the protagonist's sheer badassery and overpowered abilities as a trained killer. Despite being crippled, he's still an absolute beast, taking down anyone who threatens him. The rough yet beautifully detailed art style perfectly captures the gritty, high-stakes world Jang-on finds himself in. If you're craving an OP MC in a dark, thrilling setting, Merciless is a must-read. Fisherman. In a world where humanity was nearly wiped out by ravenous whales, a group of powerful warriors called Fishermen arose to protect the survivors. Our protagonist Eerie idolizes the legendary fisherman Grenard, who single-handedly saved humanity. When Eerie unexpectedly manifests mysterious powers, he gets the chance to join the fishermen's ranks and live out his dream. But behind the scenes, a dark truth about the fishermen and the human whale war lurks beneath the surface. With gorgeous art and an intriguing premise, Fisherman hooks you from the start. Eerie's journey from starstruck civilian to formidable fisherman with crazy overpowered abilities makes this a can't-miss hidden gem. If you're craving imaginative world building and an OPMC caught in an epic conflict, bite into Fisherman. Next up on our hidden gem hit list is the zombie manhwa Safe as Houses. Eun-ji, who wakes up from a coma to find her island home has been overrun by the undead. Talk about a rude awakening. Luckily, she gets rescued by Shuhei, this mysterious zombie slayer with mad skills and an even more mysterious secret. Now, Eun-ji's gotta brave the zombie hordes with Shuhei's help to try and find her siblings who she's praying are still alive somewhere. High-stakes zombie survival? A badass monster hunter with a dark past? You already know this one's gonna be a wild ride. Now, I won't lie, the story is a bit cliche so far, but hear me out. The art in this thing is gorgeous, with beautifully realistic style that just pops off the page. And while some peeps might find our main girl a bit bland, I'm digging the intriguing backstories that all the side characters have got going on. With only 30 chapters out, Safe as Houses is getting started on the real adventure. But if you're craving an action-packed zombie romp with stunning visuals and compelling characters, this hidden gem needs to be on your radar. Next up on our list of must-read hidden gems is the ultimate magic school fantasy manhwa, Academy's Genius Swordsman. Ronan, who after surviving an epic war against giants, gets sent back in time by his dying commander. Why? So he can enroll at the elite Philion Academy and train to become an overpowered swordsman. You already know this premise is fire. A badass time traveler warrior trying to change the future by mastering the blade at a magical university? Hooked me from the start. The storytelling and world building is immaculate, creating this rich, fully realized magical realm. And the art? Mwah. Oh my god, the action scenes and the magic effects pop off the page in the most beautiful way. So, if you're craving an awesome blend of overpowered fantasy action, magic schools, and time travel twists, you gotta add Academy's Genius Swordsman to your list now. Holy Emperor's grandson is a necromancer. You know I had to include this dope Necromancer series on our hidden gem list. Holy Emperor's grandson is a necromancer. Our main man gets reincarnated into a fantasy world after a freak electrocution incident. But get this, he wakes up as a prince with some legit necromancer powers straight out of the game he was playing. Raising the undead as a noble? You already know this one's gonna be a wild ride. The world building is on point, combining the classical fantasy vibe with some delightfully dark undead twists. And the art? Sheesh, it slaps. The character designs are fire and the magic effects will have you saying abracadabra. Toss in our smart, strategic Prince MC using his necromancer skills to get OP, some magic school antics, and the premise of epic rivalries and romance still to come. You've got yourself a certified page turner. So if you're craving a darker fantasy series with some dope necromancy mixed in, you gotta add Holy Emperor's grandson to your list. Next up on our list of the must-read hidden gems manhwa, Necromancer Academy and the Genius Summoner. Simon Valentia, who just so happens to be an absolute prodigy when it comes to necromancy. This dude's talents are so crazy that he gets personally scouted to attend the elite Necromancer Academy. Now, you already know raising the dead is some seriously powerful magic. So, when somebody has Simon's genius level skills, it's bound to attract all kinds of unwanted attention and unforeseen consequences. The characters are rich and multi-layered, especially our likable but flawed MC Simon. The world building is on point, giving necromancy this deliciously dark vibe. And the story never loses steam, keeping you hooked with great pacing and escalating stakes. If you're craving an enthralling, unputdownable series with genius-level necromancy at its core, you gotta add this hidden gem to your list ASAP. The next hidden gem is a wild one. We're talking about the insanely unique time-traveling monster fest that is Midwood. In a world overrun by monsters, our guy Jin Changdo has been just trying to survive his whole life. But then he gets his hand on the legendary Midwood item that lets him rewind time itself. His mission? Take down the evil Ian who kickstarted this whole apocalyptic mess. I gotta say, from the moment I started reading Midwood, I was hooked. But it's Jin Changdo himself that really sells this series. He's blunt, logical to a fault, and couldn't care less about social norms or propriety. As someone on the spectrum myself, I found this straightforward personality crazy relatable and low-key hilarious. Mix in that jaw-dropping art style that makes the monster designs and action sequences pop off the page, and you've got yourself an easy binge. Midwood is a true breath of fresh air that any manga fan needs to experience right now. Black-haired tactical genius. You know I had to include the hilariously underrated sports gem Black-haired tactical genius on this list. We're following our guy Ma Jungwo, who's just trying to make it as a strategic analyst for a K-League soccer team. But then out of nowhere, he inherits his grandpa's British football club, which just so happens to be 150 billion won in debt. Talk about a curveball. Now, Jungwoo has to try and dig this team out of their massive financial hole by becoming a coach himself. A soccer tactics nerd having to actually lead a struggling team? You already know the comedy is about to be off the charts. But what really makes the black-haired tactical genius such a banger is its simplicity. You're not getting bogged down with a billion convoluted storylines or overly complex drama. It's just pure, uncut entertainment following Jungwoo's over-the-top efforts to save the sinking ship of a club. You gotta add Black-haired tactical genius to your list. This hidden sports comedy is the perfect low-stakes, high-hilarity binge you need. For our number one hidden gem of this list is Terminally Ill Genius Dark Knight. Now, I know what you're thinking. That title makes our MC sound like some edgy villain out of these cringy old RPG games. But trust me, this story goes so much deeper than that. Chan, who's, well, terminally ill, with nothing left to lose, he decides to dive into his favorite RPG world and inherit the body of his character, Nox. Except this time, things are gonna play out way differently. Suddenly faced with a second chance at life, Chan gets struck with this burning desire to give Nox the epic adventure he never got to experience himself. He's determined to fight through every obstacle and seize his newfound existence by the horns. From cool game mechanics like stamina systems getting integrated into the plot, to Chan's heartwarming relationships with his party members, terminally ill genius Dark Knight has got it all. It's no wonder this underrated gem is blowing up. If you're craving an RPG-inspired story that'll make you laugh, cry, and everything in between, you gotta add this manhwa to your list right now. And there you have it, folks, 10 hidden gem manhwas that will satisfy your cravings for OPMCs. Did any one of these catch your eye? Let me know in the comments down below which one of these you're itching to read next. Don't forget to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on more epic manhwa recommendations. Until next time, stay awesome!